See how we doing. Good morning, TikTok. Uh, how's everybody doing? Let's see here. Let's go over here. Here we go. Go live on Instagram. There we go. Hey, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, Facebook and Instagram and TikTok over here. Look at TikTok just buzzing away. Good Saturday morning, everybody. Coming to you from East Point, Georgia. It's cold this morning here in Atlanta. Just gray and wet and damp and drizzly and cold. Let me see if I can get this situated away from my face so much. Good Saturday morning, everybody. Hope everybody's feeling okay this morning. And kind of got your bearings going. Good morning, Doraville, Georgia. Day Digital, if I'm saying that. Good morning, Just Peachy over on TikTok. Isn't it? It's just kind of cold and damp and gray and all that this morning. I got my little fireplace burning in here. My two Frenchies are piled up sleeping on the Eddie, I'm tired. Prima Donna says, good morning from Toronto, Canada. Happy in the 6th, I guess that is. Good morning, Toronto. I've always heard Toronto's a beautiful place to visit. I've never been to Canada. Who would know? A big country right on our border. I've never been. Good morning, user 1556. Good morning to you. I'm just coming on here. I ain't got nothing to say, y'all. Although I'll always wind up talking about something as we go along. I mainly just yesterday evening, I just had it on my heart to talk about. Feels like something sinister is going on in the country. And there is something sinister going on in the country. And it's just something like something wicked passes this way. This whole administration feels wicked, just feels wicked to me. So, but anyhow, I got most of that out of my good morning, Taria. So there does seem to be like something sinister. It doesn't seem there's something sinister going on in the country. When it said yesterday that just found you yesterday, well, good. For all you people that follow me, I can't believe I almost have 130,000 people that follow me over on TikTok. That's crazy, isn't it? Crazy. But if it's 130,000, why not 400,000? Ain't I full of myself? Ain't I just full of me? Thank y'all for the gifts already this morning, the hearts, the taps, the shares, and as we get geared up this morning to go out across the world for a few minutes and to just bid everybody a good morning and a good day. And we had a I love your mic, very 1940s radio, isn't it? You know, and the thing about it is this mic right here, it's a Blue Shure mic. And I forget why I bought it back several years ago, but I think I paid like $250 for it. And what was I doing that I needed this mic for? I forget, but it wasn't nothing to do with social media. And so anyhow, it had been in a drawer somewhere around here forever. And maybe a couple of months ago, I asked Dave, I'm like, I wonder if that old mic would work and sound better. Would it even fit in an iPhone? So sure enough, I plugged it in my iPhone and did a TikTok on it. I'm like, oh my God, that volume of this video with this mic right here seems so much more deeply sounding better than just speaking into the iPhone without a microphone. So anyhow, so now, hey, good morning, Lexi. Good morning, James Blackman. I love your little gay emblem right there. For those of you that follow my morning post on TikTok that I read, and for those of you that follow me over on Facebook, I put the written post over there along with the video post. And this morning I wrote a little post about the gay gene, that most of my dad and brothers and a lot of my family members got the alcoholic gene. And the alcoholic gene passed me, but I got the good gene, which was the gay gene. So that was the morning post this morning. And good morning, user 7093. It sounds like a broadcast. Y'all, I am broadcasting from East Point, Georgia, in my little dining room of my little 1,000 square foot, 2-bedroom, 1-bath house over here in Jefferson Park. I am broadcasting. People on Facebook can't see the mic. Let's take it. See the mic. I'm showing them the mic now. Thank y'all for the gifts that's popping up on my head over there. Let's see right here. Let's see if we can't get this. There it is. Well, it cuts a little of my head off when I do that. No, we can't do that. There we go. But thank you for the gift there. Thank you. Y'all, and I know these gifts are little incidental things, but over a month's time, they add up and get a little bit of something, whatever, you know. Yeah, so I am broadcasting around the world this morning. Doesn't that seem highfalutin and heady and egocentric and egomaniac kind of? Broadcasting around the world, Eddie Williams Sellers here in East Point, Georgia, in the little neighborhood of Jefferson Park. But anyhow, I did a little post this morning about the gay gene and about the first time I went into a gay bar at 39 years old. I had stepped away from the church. I was going through a divorce after a 20-year marriage. And there's a little gay bar on Peachtree Street, and it was always known as a black gay bar, and it's called Bulldogs. It's still open. It's right down across from the Vortex or whatever. And thank you for the gifts over here, y'all. And so I worked out on Lucky Street at Spring Street, and Bulldogs had its own little parking lot behind it. You have a delightful Southern accent. Well, thank you. You know, maybe it was in my 50s. I get off tangents, see, I start changing stories. But it took me a long time to really appreciate my Southern accent. And if I always send this message out there to Tyler Perry, that all the shows and movies and all that Mr. Perry does, he needs a voiceover on some artistic way of just an old Southern Georgia man talking, and that would be me. I put that out there. Or any, Atlanta and Georgia's full of movie making and show making and all. They need the voice of an old Southern storyteller that could moderate a background story over a film. I think I just would love doing that. You have a Hollywood Southern accent. Disney uses that style of Georgia accent. Disney, come on. Actually, there's a customer of mine that comes into the shop, Jim Cheeks, who is a builder here in Atlanta, very prominent person, and his brother is the CEO of CBS Entertainment. His last name is Cheeks too. So I'm just putting all that out there. Southern storyteller. I think after I made some money and I've got 2 W-9s from TikTok and the Harris campaign, and after I made some money unbeknownst to me that I was going to make this past year, Kara says, you're not old, you're vintage, maybe. But after making some incidental money this year, I would love to be able to fly to LA or New York or right here in the studio in Atlanta and use my voice as an old Southern storyteller. And to me, y'all, when I say old, I am so happy to be alive and have not died, because I've had 2 times in my life where I was really close to dying. And now in September, I turned 70. So I embrace the word old. Old to me is not a bad word, a negative word. To me, I never thought I'd live to be able to I'm an old man now. I thought I would have died years ago. Good morning, Felicia. So I love referring to myself as an old man, So just putting that out there this morning, I could do the background storytelling of a film or movie right here. Coming to you from Atlanta this morning. Thank you there. I think it's Carrie Smith, maybe, but said, we're glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here too. B Heard says, hi, Eddie. Love you, brother. Love you too. And B, I appreciate you following and always kind of being a part of this. Most of the time you pop up. So anyway, y'all, good morning. Good morning. TikTok, Instagram. Let's see what's going on over here for a few minutes. See some of you on Instagram. Let's see right here, over here on Facebook. I'm thinking this morning, after I finish this live, I don't know what I want to do today. I have one of them days where I can't really get out and do nothing. I'm going to ride by my daughter Heather's house over in College Park, and they blew in some insulation in her attic yesterday afternoon. I want to go over there and look up in the attic, make sure that's going all right. Keep on keeping on, learning to embrace old lady status. Yeah, y'all, I know that it's a dilemma, a lot of us, about getting older. But I've decided I'm going to embrace getting old. I'm going to embrace it. Now, listen to this. And I'm going to be totally honest about getting old. Here, I turned 70 in September. I noticed most of the hair on my legs is gone now. My legs, I used to have hairy legs. I'd put on shorts in my 40s and whatever, and I had these hairy little calves and legs. My legs is kind of getting slick as an onion. Isn't that weird, the aging part? But I'm alive. And also, I want to show y'all this. I don't need glasses. I had cataract surgery on both eyes maybe 2-3 years ago. And I want you to look at something. You can't see it on Facebook, but you see here. See the eyelids, how they start to gather. And what I've been told by the eye doctor is that there's a muscle there that you lose and your eyelids start to hang. I know I'm creeping y'all out. I'm just being a little like TMI, Eddie, TMI. So anyway, I don't know, but they have a surgery where they go in there and they raise your eyelids. I guess that's considered your eyelids, where you take that sagging away. And if it's bad enough, let me pull them down. See, if you pull them down, how they you don't even see that little ridge on. But if you pull them, if they're bad enough, Medicare will pay for it or insurance will pay for it. But if it's just cosmetic, they won't. But mine's getting to the point where it's close to where maybe Medicare will pay for it. So anyhow, March the 20th, I believe it is, I have a consultation to go in with a doctor who's going to look at them and see if it's maybe time to kind of give me an eye lift. I hope I don't come out looking like that. Like, hello, everybody. But I'm thinking about having that done. And I always said, when I was in my 40s and I started, you start noticing aging in your 40s. When I was in my 40s, I always told myself, and Gio said, I got bags under my eyes. There's cream for that. Oh, interesting. I love it. I'm from Los Angeles. It's all we talk about. Aging. Thank you for sharing the live here this morning. We're going out around the world, y'all. There's people in Canada and in England, and look at y'all, the speakers and talkers of the world. Isn't the internet amazing? But anyway, I've decided to embrace aging. Because my God, y'all, I had two brothers that died both at 39 years old apiece. I've had my two best friends that died before they got to be 50, Sammy and John. And I'm just so thankful for aging and being older and living to be old. Uh, uh, well, we be heard what Ava. Now we had a lovely date day the day before Valentine because Valentine's Day she flew up to North Carolina, so we went had us a big order of brunch and pancakes and just had the best day before Valentine's Day. Lexi says, "I told you before, you look great." Thank you. I still like the way I look. I'm gonna stay to me, y'all. I can't do the whole putting the dye on the hair thing and trying to, bring out some rinses and hiding the gray and stuff like that. But what I was going to tell you, I started noticing about in my 40s, my face was aging and stuff. So I promised myself at 50 years old, I'm going to have a facelift. And then when 50 came around, I'm like, I don't want to start tampering with the face now. Although the eyelid thing can, as you get 70, they can start to sag and they look a little weird. And I don't need glasses. But if you put on a pair of glasses, and these are kind of like reading glasses, but what they do, they distract the way from people noticing how aging your eyes are. And the glasses give you a little definition, whatever. So I got 4 or 5 different pair of glasses. So anyway, good morning, everybody. Coming to you from Atlanta this morning on a cold, wet, rainy Saturday morning. I'm thinking maybe there's a Chick-fil-A up the street here on Cleveland Avenue. If I get out of here before about 10:30, I might go by and get me a bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit. I know get after aging, and aging will get after you. Yeah, let me say some of these things going by. So true about glasses. Thank y'all for the gifts this morning. We've got about 3,000 likes right now over here. Yeah, I might go by and get me. But there's something about those anti-gay biscuits that Chick-fil-A has. They sure are delicious sometimes, ain't they? And so I might go by there and get me a little chicken biscuit. I think I want to go by. I didn't get by Habitat, I don't think, this week. So I might go by Habitat today. So later on today, y'all maybe get to see a video of walking through, see what Habitat's got for sale. I'm looking for a mirror now that goes on the little foyer in here. So I get a little something in my head, and I don't know what kind of spectrum I'm on, and probably some of you don't either, but I think maybe we're all on some kind of spectrum because if I get a little something in my brain, it'll just gnaw at me like I've got to find a mirror. I need a mirror for that little spot right there. And I don't know what kind of spectrum that is, but I'm sure I'm on some kind of spectrum. Thank you for the gifts. And Facebook and Instagram and who else am I on over here? Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. The reason I pay so much attention to TikTok, they're giving me gifts over here. I'm easy, ain't you? I'm one of them guys was easy when I was single back in my 40s. Go out at the gay bar. You buy me a drink, I'm going home with you. I was just easy. Like, I'll do anything you want to do. Buy me another drink. Isn't that awful, y'all? The reason I'm laughing because there was some truth to it. Oh my God! In the South, we never did refer to it as whoring around. We just called it being real friendly with each other. So James Black, when you laughing, there's some truth in that. People over here laughing. I heard that years ago. I was at a party, and it was a bunch of gay men at a party, and there was this Southern guy, was older, whatever, and I didn't know him. He was talking to me. He said, "Yes, and all my friends say I'm a big old whore here in Atlanta." Said, "But I never thought myself to be a whore like that." Said, "I just always enjoyed being friendly with everybody," and he was just so adorable. So, oh my goodness. So, but anyway, y'all, good morning. Maybe not maybe, but how do you like your coffee? Cream or plain? I can't stand cream. Ha ha. I love it pure. I've always only liked black coffee. I don't want nothing in my coffee. Oh, I tell you what, I travel with my buddy Sammy and John. Sammy, he'd take him a cup of coffee, and I swear to God, it would take him 10 minutes. He'd be at the coffee bar. Oh, he'd put cream all in it. He'd have to count a certain packs of sugar, put sugar all in it, put a little more cream in it. I'm like, my God, all you doing is drinking a milkshake. That ain't got nothing to do with coffee. but but I love drinking coffee black. And I love down in Costa Rica, like over here. Here's what I'm drinking: a big cup of this coffee. And this I drink about 3 of them in the morning, and they're not decaffeinated. I want to feel wired and jolted. I want to feel that caffeine. Although I've had open heart surgery, and they're like, the rest of your life you should never ever be around any caffeine at all. Stay away from caffeine. And that was back when I was 50. It's been 20 years now. I'd been drinking 3 cups of caffeinated coffee every day since then. I'm like, if I die, my heart kills out. I'm not giving up coffee. I love coffee. Yeah, exactly, Marie. The people use coffee, and the thing about it is, I'm not eating sugar now. I know I posted a picture the other day, 2 days ago, of a big old plate full of pancakes with syrup all over it. But other than that, I'm pretty much February has been sugarless. I'm still staying away from sugar. But back when I wasn't staying away from sugar, I'd stop by Starbucks. They got them in Kroger and Publix. Everywhere you go, they got Starbucks now. And good morning, Diane, over on Facebook. But I love going by Kroger and getting a large, hot caramel macchiato. And it ain't nothing but big old swirls of caramel and caffeine and a shot of this and a shot of that. And, that hot milk they do, whatever. So I love sugary hot drinks. Coffee is not one of them, though. My favorite brand is Kawa. With the flavor of toasted coconut caramel. That's just of the devil. That anything that's got toasted coconut caramel in the in the sentence of it is of the devil. Yeah. We do these. I make a pot. I got this Keurig right here beside me, and when Ava's here, we do a pot because I love to smell the aroma of coffee in the house. And plus, she and I both drink 2 or 3 cups, so just make a pot. But at Starbucks, Pike's Roast. That's what we drink. And also the Keurig pods is Pike's Roast Starbucks, and so that's what we drink right there. But I might try that other right there. So anyway, y'all, good Saturday morning. It's cold and damp and wet and rainy, and I think there's more rain coming in today. It's going to be a rainy weekend. I don't have anything to do. I can't work outside. There's nothing going on. Ava's out of town. I started watching on Hulu last night. There's a documentary on about Sly and the Family Stone. It's Hawaiian. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen that brand be heard. But I started watching the documentary last night on Sly and the Family Stone on Hulu, and my God, wasn't and there's this whole thing in the documentary about being a black genius. And Sly Stone was just a genius ahead of his time of putting people together and voices and writing and singing. Diane says, I really like Baby's coffee that I get in Key West when I visit. Yeah. But I just love coffee, y'all. And I will try it. Documentaries are my favorite genre. Yeah, mine too. I love a good documentary. I just love it. And plus, Sly Stone, I didn't know this about him. He was a DJ in San Francisco. It's just a real young little fella, just a DJ, and everybody loved him on radio and DJ. And then he got a little bit more involved in music, and he had such good. And I just I got sleepy about 9:30, and so I turned it off about a quarter of the way through it. But I'm going to watch the rest of it probably sometime later today. And what are your thoughts on the King James version of the Bible? It's kind of weird to me, that version of King James, when you see documentaries or read about the history of King James of England, who is his authorized version for only the English people. And then all these people across the South, like, oh, that ain't no word of God but the King James version. I mean, any other Bible was considered blasphemy or not real. And yeah, he very much twisted a lot of it. And the thing about this, and evangelical and Christianity has always been so against gay and lesbian people. And there's no doubt that King James was a homosexual that authorized the King James version of the English Bible. He himself was a homosexual. It's just documented. It's history. And and yet, if you're talking to some of these people and you're like, oh, homosexual going ahead, this and that, say, well, you do know that King James Version Bible that you're reading, that King James himself was a homosexual that put that Bible together. They were like, oh, no, that's of the devil. That's of the devil. God used King James for that. It's just weird. It's weird. Good morning, Texas, Keegan's version. Good morning out there in Texas. Did you watch Yacht Rock doc on Max? No, I haven't. I don't even know what that is. Did he do that to cover up his ways? I don't think, really and truly, a lot of historical people that were gay, like the great artists and the great writers and kings and queens, they didn't try to cover it up. There's just broadly written about through history. I think as maybe just in this latter day of the last 100 years, where people like, around Iran and Uganda and America just really wanted to castrate gay people. But historical figures, no, they didn't shy so much away from it. Eddie, you have to watch Paradise on Hulu, not a documentary, but full of, I've heard that it's good. And the guy that stars in it, I met him one night at an art thing down here in South Atlanta. Yeah, he's famous. Yeah. Good morning, Valerie, over on Facebook. Y'all, it's a wonderful weekend. Max is HBO now. Yes. God has different colors of people for a reason, and it wasn't to divide us, to love them. Yeah. And you know what, y'all? I kind of quit reading the Bible a long, long time ago. And here's the thing about it is, if you're raised up in it and if you preached it for 20 years, no matter if you never ever pick up a Bible again, and I probably picked up the Bible in the last 10 years, maybe 5 times for just a minute or two. I've got a big one laying right over here on the bookcase if I ever wanted to. And I know this is weird. Just how weird religion is. I don't like reading the Bible online. Now you got your iPad, your iPhone, and you can Google, and you can just type right here and pull up the King James version. You can sit here and read Matthew, Mark, Acts, all that online. To me, it doesn't feel like Bible unless you've got the Bible down and you flip the page and you look over here on chapter 3 and you read a little bit. To me, it just speaks to me in a different way than reading just online stuff, And I know that people that even go to church now, they don't take Bible. Used to be when people would come to church, even my church, man, it was kind of like part of the ritual of going to church. You take your Bible with you. When the preacher says, I want everybody to turn now to Nehemiah, the 5th chapter, you could hear the pages flipping across the building, or even under a tent where people get their Bibles out. I don't think people do any of that no more. I think people now, if they want to read along with you, they look on their iPhone, or either most preachers now just have it up on the screen where you don't have to fool with that. But I tell you what they do. The right has used the Bible to church as a means of submission. Yes, yes. I tell you what people use their iPhone for now. For people that have social anxiety or anxiety in general or panic, which I've always kind of had a little bit of, the iPhone now, and people say, oh, that's inappropriate. People shouldn't be on their phones while the preacher's preaching. They shouldn't be on the phone in the Lord's house and this and that and the other. Well, my God, that's the only way some people can get through sitting through 2 hours of that is looking over here on their Facebook or something on their iPhone. They got it down in their lap. And you just kind of take a minute to give yourself some anxiety relief or just distraction. And I know it is seem like it's inappropriate when a man's up there and he's just, or a woman, and she's just speaking from her heart and this and that and the other. And people out there in the church, they're on their phones, they're looking at stuff. Here's what I'd say to that. If I was the person up there speaking, I would say that is up on me to be saying something that was interesting enough that people would put their phone down, but just command them to sit through a rambling, long, boring, repeating, my God, how many times can you hear the biblical stories and people not just yawn on you? Yeah, Jesus came walking in the fourth watch of the night upon the water. I mean, after you heard it 1,500 times, you're like, yeah, buddy. But can't we have something about 2025 and the where the nation is right now in this moment, And so that's what I'd say to that. You can go on YouTube and you can see these videos where these preachers. I agree with you, Diane. Diane says a sermon should be no longer than 20 minutes. If you can't teach your audience in that time frame, then you have no real message, or at least get to the point of the message in 20 minutes. Because I know from speaking, here's what I would say, Diane. If somebody's really gifted and they're in the process of saying something that's got people's attention, I would say you can hold their attention really good. I mean, you have to realize too that a lot of people get up on Sunday, they get dressed, they kind of have their day prepared around their church service that day. They get a shower, put on some clothes, they drive across Atlanta, they come in from wherever, and they're sitting there. 20 minutes is a real short time for a message. But I would say an hour, and you can really slow down and let people slowly digest. But 20 minutes, from my understanding of all the times I've read about Jesus in the Bible, Jesus never was long-winded. Now, there is a place over in the book of Acts where the Bible does say Paul was long-winded, and it went into the late night, and some man that was listening had fell asleep up above him and fell down and broke his neck or something, and Paul laid hands on him and healed him, but Paul was being long-winded. But Jesus, if you read the Beatitudes and the other things where he taught, it was like 5 minutes. 5 minutes, And so, yeah, but anyhow, y'all, Jesus came to demolish the law and yet the right use of political too. Exactly why I don't really go to church. I'd rather spend my Sunday doing good deeds for others, Keegan's version said. Yeah, there's no need for church. I'm just going to say that for people that's listening right now. There is absolutely no need. If you want to be Christ-like and put on the cloak of Christianity and live according to the rules of Christianity, which is to love your neighbor as you love yourself, to be kind to everybody, to be long-suffering, there's no need to go to a church. Even really and truly, there's scriptures that actually speak against it. Because even some of the writers in John and Peter says, after he, the Spirit of truth, has come to you, you will no longer need any man to teach you. And basically, that's what they use church for, to try to indoctrinate and teach people. And But here's my thoughts on church. Church never was about Jesus to me. It never was about religion. It never was about Christianity, and it still shouldn't be just that. I tell you why people love church and why people go to church. It gives them a sense of community. It gives them a sense of belonging. It gives them a sense of being able to do good deeds to people through the church, which is one of the writers said, pure and undefiled religion is to visit the widows and the fatherless, to get out and to not wait for them to come to church, but to get out and visit the widows and the fatherless, some type of pure religion. But church is about a community, about belonging. And I know that when I lived in Grant Park, I hadn't been to church for about 10 years. Yes. Yeah, be heard. I see you over there. Yeah. When I had not been in a church in 10 years, and I'm going to do this and hope, I always said I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to keep on. I'm going to miss my biscuit at the street. They'll quit serving them at 10:30. But when I lived in Grant Park, I hadn't been to church in over 10 years, other than do a funeral here and there for people that would ask. And my mom had died, and I got real sad and depressed for a couple of weeks after my mom died. So I thought there was a little Baptist church right around down the street from me called Woodland Hills Baptist Church. So I got up one Sunday morning, sat on my porch. I said, I think I'm just going to go around the corner here and just kind of go sit on the back pew at Woodland Hill Baptist Church. And in closing, as the Pentecostal preacher would say, real churches accept all people and never turn anyone away. There's very few real churches than that, because, enjoy your biscuits. Much love to all. You have a good day too, be heard. But anyhow, I went to this Baptist church that Sunday morning, Woodland Hills Baptist Church. It don't no longer exist now. It's something else now, Atlanta United or something. All the churches, old traditional churches around big cities like Atlanta, in great decline. All the buildings are closing up. All those works are done now, most of them. And I sat on the back pew, and oh my God, the song leader was 80 years old. The preacher had some kind of sickness, and he was shaking, not to be like Trump, making fun of him, just giving you a little bit of idea. He was old and feeble on his last days. He's dead now. And I sat there and I thought, my God, this is the most boring thing in the world. How to speak? Wasn't but about 12 people there. And I counted, being Pentecostal, we church number counters. We see like, there ain't no work going on here. Ain't nobody coming. And, but anyhow, I went back a few more times, and what it was, the people that was there were older people. They had dinner on Wednesday evenings. I went back to it. They said, please come back. Please. I said, I'll come back. So I came back that Wednesday, and Sylvia, old lady, she cooked spaghetti, had a plate of spaghetti. Well, they just treated me like I was a rock star. Oh, here comes Eddie again. Here comes Eddie again. Well, it wasn't about Jesus. It wasn't about Christ. It was about, I just kind of felt the connection to the old people that were still there. And I lived by myself for the last 5 years right up the street from them. So I got going down there and eating with them, telling old stories. First thing you know, they asked me, play my guitar, and got up and sung. I did have this experience. The church grew. I'm not saying it was because of me or whoever, but the church grew up for a year or two. And could be my ego coming out. But anyhow, on a Sunday morning service, we have the president of the Southern Baptist organization. I mean, the big cadoodle, the head of all of the Southern Baptists. He was there that Sunday morning. So he's sitting on the front pew, and he'd come to Atlanta, and he's a big deal. He's like the ambassador from the Baptists come to the visit, the president of the Southern Baptist Association. So he's there, and he's going to speak. Before he speaks, I don't like Southern Baptists, but before he speaks, I went up to the podium, and I just had my guitar, and just with the guitar only, although they had a grand piano on stage that probably maybe it was sold for over $100,000. Beautiful centerpiece. I went up to the podium and I just had my guitar and I began to sing, "Oh, what a friend we have in Jesus, all our pains and griefs to bear." And I was feeling, I mean, I don't care if it was the president of the Southern Baptists, I was feeling the anointing. And just sung it with my guitar. You could have heard a pin drop. You could feel this, whatever that vibration is that happens in church. You could feel it move through that congregation. We had a good crowd there because the president of the Southern Baptist Association was going to be speaking. And when he come around, he was really a kind, sweet man. And he said, "Brother," talking to me, he said, "I don't know who you are." He said, "But I wish I could take you with me to every place I go to and have you come around and sing right before I speak." And oh my God, I'm like, oh my God, I love the Southern Baptists. you pay me a compliment. I'm like, that's a good man right there. That's a good man right there. Oh my God. But anyhow, y'all, I'm going to get out of here. Love y'all. I'm going to go get that biscuit and get my Saturday going. Y'all enjoy your day. Let me get off of here.